Hey guys, how's it going? Glad you stopped by. It's Wednesday, and today, in fine tradition, because I love the Crockpot just as much as anybody else should love the Crockpot if they don't, we're gonna do a Crockpot dinner. A lot going on today, so trying to get the rest of the backyard cleaned up, get things cut back that need to be cut back, and get things ready to be mulched over. And I'm trying to get my burn pile down to non-burn pile status, and still continually working on the outside pin for Norma, our tortoise, and which I'll put a quick picture of her right here. That way you can see her if you haven't, and get the rest of the garden cleaned up. Like I said, we got a handful of pepper plants out there that just got killed by the frost. I got to get out of the ground and get cardboard and mulch put over all that. There's a lot going on. Still got to get gravel down, things like that. A lot to do throughout the fall. Never stops, especially outside. We do like to spend a lot of time outside. But anyhow, today in our crock pot, we are going to do a quinoa and chicken enchilada casserole. And I think it sounds just absolutely amazing. If you don't know what quinoa is, it is like rice, basically. And it's really good for you, which is a rarity on this channel. But it really kind of struck my fancy when I saw the recipe, and I thought, you know what, we got to try this, and why not? If you are new to my channel, welcome. Glad you stopped by. I hope you get something out of this video, and maybe check out some of my other ones. But I do almost every recipe we do here, we do for the first time, so you get to experience it with me. I think that gives it a better feel, that shows you if I can do it, you can do it, right? And if you are returning to my channel or one of my new subscribers, welcome back and thank you. I appreciate it. We are growing in leaps and bounds as always, and even though, our goal for the end of the year was subscribers was 5,000, and we're getting there. I don't know if we're gonna exactly hit it by the end of the year, but we'll be close, and that's okay. I'm not going anywhere if you don't go anywhere, that's for sure. But this recipe has, all the basics that you might have in your pantry already, other than the quinoa. That one is, kind of a rare bird. We have it here, but that's because we eat it. And if you haven't tried it, try it. I think you'll like it. Like I said, it's good for you. But anyhow, that being said, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share. Comments, always welcome. I respond to every single comment, good, bad, or indifferent. I'll ask if you comment, it's okay to disagree with me or anybody else on the channel, down in the comments, but be nice, type before you think. All right, that's all I ask. So that being said, why don't we head on down here to the counter, and we will go ahead and get started on this recipe. Hold on for me 1 second. All right, we are down here at the counter, and so this is really just kind of a dump and go gig. All you'll need is one crock pot, as far as cooking appliances go. And if you're like me and you gather all your ingredients prior to, you'll need some prep bowls to get all your stuff in. But other than that, you really just need a crock pot. So the first thing we're gonna do is, in our crock pot, is put just 2 large chicken breasts in there. It's almost a pound of chicken, almost 454 grams. But when I put it in here, I'm gonna put it to one side. That way I can mix up my other ingredients on the other side as I go, and that way, because it actually called in this recipe to stir your ingredients up, which is fine, but I want to be able to stir them up, and if the chicken's in there, so it's going to get in the way, right? So I've got it set to one side. So things we need to dump in here, we'll just start at the beginning. We are going to do 1 cup, 180 grams, 180 grams of quinoa. And like I said, it's almost like a rice. It's actually older than rice, if memory serves me correctly. It's been a long time since I've read the history on it, but it's been around for a very good long time, and like I said, it's definitely healthy for you. So 1 cup, 180 grams of the quinoa, and then to that I'm going to add, now the original recipe calls for 10 ounces of enchilada sauce. I'm going to use 16 ounces, but it's a 10-ounce can. It's the small cans of enchilada sauce. I make my own. I made my own, and so I want to try it out in this. I I have 8 jars I made, and I want to try them out in as many possibilities that call for enchilada sauce as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. So my 10-ounce jar, or 10-ounce can, pretend can of enchilada sauce. And then we are going to add one in a, my nose is raw. I have been battling the biggest cold as of late, and I don't know where it's come from. It knocked me to the ground last week, which was horrible. 1 1/4, 300 milliliters of chicken broth, and I'm using veteran bouillon and water. For the first time, and I can't tell you how long, I am actually out of chicken broth to make, and which is crazy. Got that in there, and then I have got a half a teaspoon of cumin, a half a teaspoon of chili powder, both those weighing 2 grams each, a half a teaspoon of salt, and a half a teaspoon of pepper, both of those weighing 2 grams each. The salt and pepper is to taste. So I'm going to go ahead and get those in there, and then I'm just going to give this a quick stir to get it started real quick. And then we are going to add 1 7-ounce, it's the equivalent of 1 7-ounce can of green chilies. You would buy them at the store. It'd be the bigger of the 2 cans, and they weigh 198 grams. We're going to go ahead and get that in there. A half a cup, 60 grams. Yeah, half a cup, 60 grams of frozen corn. You can also use a can of corn, or canned corn, but you only want a half cup. Now, that being said, if you want more corn, add more corn. If you want less corn, that's the beauty of cooking. You can always change it up to suit your fancy, right? To suit your needs. So I got that in there, and then the last thing I need to put in this at the moment is going to be, oh, there is one other thing, and I gotta go get it still. But I have a half a cup of black beans, which weighs 95 grams. And these are rinsed, out of the can, rinsed, and that way we don't have the black bean sauce on them, so we don't want the sauce flavor, we want the beans. So, get that in there, and then I'll be right back because I gotta go grab the other ingredient real quick. Hold on for me. Okay, sorry about that. I had to go get some fresh cilantro. Now, you don't have to put cilantro in it. It's definitely an option, but it was in the recipe. But it's just about 2 teaspoons worth of fresh chopped cilantro, although mine's not chopped. I just tore it up. It's too little to get the knife out with. So I just pulled the sprigs off of the bunch and ran with it that way. So now that we've got all that in there, got it mixed up, I'll move my 2 chicken breasts towards the center here. Make sure they're good and coated with everything. We are going to now stick the lid on this and cook it for about 4 to 6 hours on low. I mean, we're looking for the chicken to get done, obviously, but we also want the, we should have the liquid reduce a little bit and the sauce to thicken up. So go ahead and get this on low, 4 hours. We are in good shape. So when I come back, we'll take a look at it and probably and talk about what to do next. All right, I'll see you here in 1 second. All right, so we've been about 4.5 hours on our chicken, and we'll pop the lid off. And what we gotta do next is, and you'll notice, matter of fact, here, I'll bring you over maybe so you can see if I can get my corded stuff over that far. Yeah, there we go. If you notice, it's soaked up. That was easy for me to say. It has soaked up all the broth and enchilada sauce, and so we're just left with the quinoa and the chicken. But now, sorry about that. Someday I'll hire a real cameraman. Now we gotta get our chicken out of here, and we're gonna just simply put it in this bowl and give it a good shred. So, and oh yeah, it just fell apart just putting it in the bowl. This will be an easy shred, but we're gonna get this shredded up real quick. Okay, so we got our chicken shredded chicken, and if you've never shredded chicken before, I guess I could have mentioned it. You want to go ahead and just use a couple forks and pull it apart, or If you want to give it a second and you're brave enough, you can do it by hand, or there is a third option, and this one's kind of fun but not very practical, and that's to get your hand mixer out and shred it with your hand mixer. I've done it once just to say I did it, and it was interesting. I'll give you that. It worked. I mean, it did work. You know, but if you're not careful, you'll have chicken all over your walls. Don't ask me how I know. So we're gonna stir that chicken back in there, and then the last thing we got to do, very last thing before we try and eat this bad boy, is cheese. Life is just not life without cheese. I have 3/4 cup of mozzarella, 3/4 cup of sharp cheddar on the bottom there. That's 90 grams each, and what we're going to do is we're going to take that and we're going to layer it on top of this, just like such. Oop. And drop the bowl in it, because why not? You know, nothing says dinner like glass. But all right, we got our cheese on there, nice and even. We're gonna put our lid back on, and we're gonna let this go on low for about another 15-20 minutes. Get that cheese melted and ooey gooey and all over the place. And then after that, it'll be time to eat. So when I come back, we'll take a look at the finished product and give it a try. All right, see you here in a second. All right, our time is up. We have melty gooey cheese. And now all we have to do is give it a try, right? So let us pick a little spot here. Now, I wasn't sure what to expect. I mean, really, because I didn't know if it was going to be, you know, like a little more liquidy. You know, I mean, because I know quinoa can, like much like rice, it firms up. But I didn't know if it was going to have enough liquid in it to, you know, make it like a sauce. But it did not. You know, it is a true casserole in every sense, down to the ooey gooey cheese. Oh, that's great. I love mozzarella. Mozzarella is the most amazing thing ever. But right here we are in all its fame and glory, I believe. It looks delish. So what do you have with it, right? Well, I know with us tonight, I'm gonna have some beans, and we're gonna do some chips. And as far as toppings go for this, it pretty much like any other Tex-Mex or Mexican style food. You know, the recommendations were pretty much the same. They were sure, tomatoes, avocado, you know, sour cream, but as we have discussed several times over, I don't do sour cream, and it's not that I don't like it. I like it in dishes. You know, when like if a dish calls for it, it's amazing. But I honestly think, now there are some people, Chris, that would disagree with me. They would, you know, but I think it takes away from the flavor of the dish when you just plop it on top or stir it into a chili or whatever. That's just me, and I know there are plenty of people out there that would disagree with me. But I am going to do diced tomatoes and a couple jalapenos, you know, like such, and then the enchilada sauce, that was silly, that I put in it. Well, I have learned, because I used it as a like a mole sauce for tacos the other night. It makes a wonderful topper. So I am just gonna sprinkle a little bit of that on top. It really is. And if you guys would like to see how you make it, I can do a canning video on it. It's not hard to make, and it is quite tasty. So there is the finished product right there with the beans, and I'll put chips on it after we try this, because I really want to try this and then take the rest of the table for me and Chris to eat, because Abby, I'm sure, won't eat it, and none of the other kids are here anymore. It's so weird to go from you know, 6 to down to 3. Weird, but anyhow, let's give this a try without the jalapenos and the, you know, ton of mole sauce. So that way I can see what it tastes like without it. That's a winner. Was it they say winner, winner, chicken dinner? Yep, right here. And it really, what did it take us 10 minutes to put everything in it? And that was with me talking. 4 hours to cook, another 20 minutes with to melt the cheese, and bam, you got Instameal. Yeah. Y'all have to give this one a try. That's awesome. You throw those fresh, well, pickled but fresh jalapenos on there and a diced tomato. Amazing. Let me know if you give this a try. You won't be disappointed, and it's quick and it's easy. You could literally, you know, start this in the morning, stick it on low, and well, I guess it would depend on your crock pot, because like mine has a off and warm feature that it automatically does. But Sunday morning, Saturday, football season, college football coming on, that would be an awesome dish to have for football. Having friends over, awesome. Some chips, off the hook. But at any rate, I'm going on a tangent. Let me know if you do make this. Leave me a comment down below, or jump over to the Facebook group, leave us a comment there. Yeah, I think that's about it. So either way, you won't be disappointed. But tomorrow for dessert, no idea. I really have no clue, but I'm sure I'll figure it out by morning. But until then, I love you. I love you very much, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Tell somebody else that you love them and that you love them very much. It's gonna make them feel better. It's gonna make them smile either way it goes. They probably even need to hear it. It's gonna make you feel good to tell them also. And if you make them some of this chicken enchilada casserole with the quinoa. I have a horrible time remembering that, but they're really gonna know that you care, and it's gonna lead to some nice conversation after dinner. So, till tomorrow for dessert, I love you, and I'll see you then. All right? See you later. Bye-bye.